One of the themes my dad was about excuses. So if I lost a chess game, for example, there was a chess tournament. It was 7 hours drive. We drove 7 hours. We stayed up all night. I stayed up with him. I played chess in the morning. I lost. I only had 2 hours sleep. And when I lost, I said, oh, because I was tired. And my dad made a very big point of saying, look, it doesn't matter if you were tired. Your excuse has fucking nothing to do with the win or the loss next to your name. You've lost now. No one's going to say he lost, but he was tired. They're going to say you lost. And this is the truth about excuses in general. Any excuse you can fabricate, nobody cares. The universe doesn't care. Did you win or did you lose? Life is binary. Did you survive or not? If you come at me and say, oh, I'm fat because X, Y, Z, the girl in the club isn't going to be like, oh, well, he's out of shape, but it's okay because X, Y, Z. You're just fat. It's binary. Life's binary. So you have to make a conscious decision. Excuses don't exist. They don't have any weight. They don't matter to anyone else. So why should they matter to you? And as soon as you realize that all that matters is the result and you have to be binary about your decisions, then you're going to start throwing all that crap away. And I understood that from a very, very young age. So even when I was a teenager in England and I decided I wanted to be successful, I didn't sit and go, I want to be successful, but I'm in a single room in a homeless hostel, single mother. I just knew I wanted to be successful. People are either going to view me successful or not. They're not going to care about anything else. If they're not going to care, I didn't care. It didn't enter my mind at any point. I didn't let it cloud my vision, if that makes sense. It never entered my mind. This is my situation. This is my scenario. So I have to do what I can do.
I don't think people understand that there is a version of the world where you can feel things and really not give a fuck how you feel. If I don't feel like going to the gym, I go to the gym. If I don't feel like working, I will still work. I lived in a world for 15 years where I didn't feel like fighting because my nose was broken, but I had to fight anyway. So a lot of these people come up to me and they say, oh, but I feel this way. I don't put a huge amount of importance on emotions. It's not that I don't feel them. It's that I don't think they have much to do with anything at all. If I wake up in a happy mood and I have a business to run and things to do, if I wake up in a sad mood, I have the same shit to do. I'm going to get it done. So where's the importance of it? In my mind, that's how I view it. Like, how does that affect what I'm going to do? Well, nothing. It doesn't. It's not going to affect how I live my life. So why sit around and think about it? This modern obsession with happiness is the number one problem with the world. Because I really don't believe humans were ever evolved to be happy. Were we? And all these people who are constantly complaining about how they feel probably don't have a spectrum of emotions much different to mine. The difference is I don't sit around and cry about it because I don't live that kind of life. I don't have that kind of conditioning in my mind. I don't give a shit how I feel. I have things to do. Who gives a fuck how you feel? Like, your emotion has nothing to do with the harsh reality of this world. You're either successful or you're not. Life is binary. You either win or you lose. You survive or you don't.
I think a lot of people build their mindsets around trying to feel good. A lot of people's mental model and how they view the world is based around them feeling as good as possible. So when you sit there and talk to somebody who has the mask on and they refuse to believe the elites are laughing at them, it's not because they can't comprehend the ideas. It's because they feel better if they don't believe that they are a clown to the elites. I feel better if this is really all innocent and it's really all about a disease. So people are they're basing their mindsets around trying to feel good. I have always tried to base my mindset around absolute competence regardless of how I feel. And if you construct a mindset that allows you to be as competent as possible, as opposed to feel any different or feel better, then you're going to naturally come to the conclusions I've come to. You're as competent as possible if you believe you can affect absolutely everything about your life. You're as competent as possible if you believe absolutely everything that's happened to you, whether good or bad, is completely your fault. You're as competent as possible if you believe the bad things that happen to you are going to allow you to work harder and become even better. When bad things happen to me, the first thing out of my mouth is good. Good. Andrew, they took $10 million out the bank because they canceled you. Good. Good. That's just my response. Good. This mindset I've constructed allows me to be as fearsome a competitor as possible. It allows me to be a feared opponent in any realm of human endeavor, and that's the point of a mindset. Why would you have a mental model or a mentality that made you anything less? In the ultra-competitive world that everybody wants the things you have, why would you absorb information or construct a mental model that doesn't allow you to be as competitive as possible? I am a feared competitor in anything I do. Anyone who's up against me at anything is going to feel a degree of nervousness just because it's me. It doesn't matter what it is. If you say, look, you're going to go learn how to play piano and you're going to play against someone else who's never played piano and you're going to go learn, and that guy's Andrew Tate. You're going to be like, oh, for fuck's sake, I can't even play piano. But part of them is going to be like, oh, not Tate. Because they just know me. They know my mindset. They know my determination. They know I'm stubborn. They know I don't quit. They know I'm going to win. That's just who I am. So I've constructed a mental model that allows me to be competent and to always succeed. And that's how I've come to the conclusions I've come to. And I truly, once again, don't understand how people go through the world with any other mental model. I get asked all the time, but what do you feel? Or what about happiness or depression? How I feel doesn't cross my mind. I don't know how else to explain it. There are days where I'm pissed off or sad or happy, it doesn't cross my mind. It's just like, I woke up, whatever mood I happen to be in, I have things I need to do. It's a busy day. I need to go training. I have shit to do. Like, I didn't cross my mind if I was happy, sad, excited. I just had to work. Because their number one agenda is to create worker drones. They don't want you to think for yourself, which means that to a degree you need to be weak, both mentally and physically. If you're weak, both mentally and physically, one, you're not prepared to defend your ideas, but especially if you're mentally weak, this is such a big point of it. And this is why I get so much flack for saying depression isn't real and all these things. If you're mentally weak and you're concerned in your own mind about even living day-to-day life because you find it such a struggle, there's no way you're going to take on a larger battle than yourself. You're not going to start resisting enslavement. You're not going to be doing any of that stuff because you're too busy looking in the mirror crying your eyes out. You're selfish. You're self-obsessed. Happy people don't do that. Happy people, okay, my life is good. I'm happy. I want my family to be happy. I want my community to be good. I care about my country. That's why they don't want you to be happy. They want you to be miserable, weak, and they want to delete any morality from your brain because it's a baseline morality that prevents them from installing the slave programming. By getting you to a point where you no longer think for yourself, they can just tell you anything is true. That's what they're doing to us right now. What they're doing is convincing people to ignore their own eyes. Once they can convince you to ignore your own eyes, well, that's the end of the game, isn't it? Now it doesn't matter if they see the sky is blue because the media said the sky is red. And that's the final level of slave programming they're trying to get us to. They want us to ignore our own eyes, ignore our own ears, ignore our innate morality, because we're all born with an innate morality inside of us. We believe certain things are wrong and right instinctually. They want us to ignore that. Get rid of all of it, empty brains, empty hard disks, and plug in the new program for whatever they think is applicable at the time. It's going to be tyranny and slavery. What else would they want to program into us?
The world is hyper competitive. If you're going to be a man who's going to sit and say, I'm just sad, you are always going to lose in competition to men like me. Yeah. And there has to be losers for there to be winners. I am tired of sympathy. Sympathy doesn't work for anybody. I'm not going to sit here and be sympathetic for people who say they're too sad to try hard and be their best. Guess what? Perhaps I was sad every time I did exactly what I was supposed to do and trained anyway. Perhaps I was afraid when I fought anyway. Perhaps I was tired when I worked anyway. This is how you get ahead in life. I don't have a fucking ounce of sympathy for these people who sit here and say, well, I feel this way, so I can't. Then don't do it. Stay down there. The winners are at the top, and the winners at the top don't give a shit about how they feel. We wake up and we perform regardless of how we feel day after day. So if I'm going to ignore my own feelings, I'm certainly not going to take into consideration anybody else's. Yeah. Why am I going to ignore how I feel and make sure I'm constantly performing regardless, flawlessly, and then sit and go, oh, but he doesn't feel good, so he's allowed to fuck up. No, you are not. You're not allowed to fuck up to your ancestors or to God or to yourself. You have to perform. This is what being a man is about. The baseline of masculinity is doing things you don't feel like doing. The baseline of masculinity as a whole is the thing that makes a good man a man is that he does what he doesn't want to do. He doesn't want to work and he works anyway. He doesn't want to go to war and he fights anyway. He doesn't want to get up, he gets up anyway. That's the whole point of it. You're supposed to do it anyway, regardless. So when a man sits there and says, oh, but you don't understand, I'm struggling with motivation. If you are struggling with the motivation to be a winner, then stay a fucking loser. This is the reason why they try and convince the whole population they're depressed. Depression is a low energy state. You're not going to go to revolution if you're depressed. If you're depressed, you're obsessed only with how you feel. You're self-obsessed now. You're a depressed person. You don't want to go outside. You don't want to do anything. You don't care about the world. Right. You only care about you. You're worshiping Satan if you're going to sit there depressed. I don't care if I'm depressed. I have things to do, and I am not going to allow people I care about to be at detriment. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm a full-grown man. I have things to do. So they're trying to push all of this, and it is demonic, and it's satanic.
There is no up without down. There's no such thing as permanent happiness, because then it's not happiness, is it? You only feel happiness because you felt sad. You need the polarity to even experience it. This is what people don't understand. People are going through life going, I deserve to be happy all the time. You're not a child who has, his 2-year-old who got a toy at Christmas. You're a grown-up. You've got responsibilities. You have things you need to do. You have pressure. You have commitments to fulfill. You're not going to be permanently happy all of the time. There's going to be times you feel a bit pissed off. And then that goes down to, then there's two types of people. The people who pull themselves up by the bootstraps, who think, well, I'm unhappy about my current situation, so what I'm going to do is change it. Or the people who go, I'm unhappy, it's not my fault, I caught a disease, I'm depressed, oh, no wonder I'm fat and live in my mother's basement, I'm depressed. No, it's just complete garbage. And people use it as an excuse for things. I have it all the time. People message me and go, I'm overweight, what do I do? I say, go to the gym. They go, I can't because I'm depressed. I was like, you think you're fat because you're depressed. The reality is you're depressed because you're fat. You got the wrong way around. It's simply a situational feeling that's telling you you're unhappy with your situation, or you're unhappy with certain circumstances, and you need to change it. That's all it is. It's an evolutionary mechanism to prevent you living a life that humans are not meant to live. If depression wasn't situational, why do people not like going to jail? Because when you go to jail, you're in a situation which is depressing. It's simple as that. If we can be happy all the time regardless, then how come we don't just all go catch a case and sit in a jail cell and get 3 meals a day? How come, if this is a universal disease, does it have country borders? Certain countries are more depressed than others. Why does it stop at a country? Surely it affects all the human race the same. No, certain countries tell you to get over it and get on with your life. Most people just need to be told to get up and get over it. Man, when I was 16, because I was a kid and I was stupid, I was 16, I was miserable about some shit. And I remember saying to my dad, I think I'm depressed. I remember saying to me, depression isn't real, go to the gym. And literally within a day I was fixed. Because I went to the gym, I started training, and I never thought about it again. Imagine he said, oh my God, okay, let's take you to the doctor, let's sit you in front of a therapist, let's talk about depression all the time, let's start taking these pills that are gonna alter your brain, and you sit there and talk about everything bad that's ever happened to you ever to this therapist, and just sit there. Do you think I would have been cured in a day, or would I have been suffering from this imaginary garbage for years?
As a man, it's player versus player. It's ultimately competitive. And as a man, you have to outcompete the other men who are prepared to get up and do it anyway. That's how it works. There's no such thing as saying, I'm sad, I need 2 weeks off. Not as a man if you want to be important.
I've had people come to me and say, I'm depressed. And I'm like, well, why? And they go, I'm depressed. That's why I'm a fat, lonely guy with no girlfriend. I say, no, you're not fat and lonely because you're depressed. You're depressed because you're fat and lonely. You got it the wrong way around, and what you're using is depression as an excuse, facilitator, to avoid going to the gym, to avoid fixing your life, because now you have a ready-made, fully packaged excuse that Western society buys at a heartbeat. Oh, well, he can't do anything about his life, depressed. Oh, this kid doesn't want to behave, he has ADHD. Oh, this person doesn't want to do this. It's all these pre-packaged excuses that people can just pull out their pocket and say, this is my reason for doing my life wrong. And it's garbage. I refuse to believe any of it. I'm sorry, I refuse to believe any of it. It's completely down to you to build the life you want to make. So if you're out here as a man and you have no battle in your life, no conquest in your life, no form of war in your life, then what you do? And it doesn't have to be physical. Physical is the best example of it. Every woman wants a boxer or a cage fighter. Of course you do. So every woman wants a boxer or a cage fighter, but this is the testament to the problem of the modern world, right? Every single man watching this knows that women want fighters. Every single man watching this would love to be able to say he's a fighter, but 99% of the men watching this will not go fight because they are afraid. So as a man, you become a better man by suffering. So as a man, what you actually want to do is go through so much suffering that you become such a fantastic man that you can find a woman who's never suffered and prevent her from ever suffering. I think the whole point of life as a man is competition in the first place. You need to work to win. You can show off. Women and cars and money and traveling and private jets and lifestyle are an easy way to peacock and show off your success. They are the result of success. So what you do is when you make a whole bunch of money, you can't just show your bank balance all the time, right? So instead you show the lifestyle. That's what you do. You show a lifestyle to say, look how successful I've been. Here's how fantastically I've done in my business. So here's the lifestyle to reflect it. But once you get to a certain point where you're known internationally for that lifestyle and you're known globally for making the money, you don't need to show off anymore. And as a man, truthfully, you get your contentment. I wouldn't even say happiness, but you achieve your contentment through making others happy. I feel content when my children are happy. I feel content when I make my woman happy. I get more from giving than receiving. That's why Christmas is set up the way it is and dad never gets anything. We give. We go to work, we struggle, we make money, we suffer so others can be happy because of us. It's not our job to be happy ourselves. You show me a man who wakes up and says he wants to be happy himself, I'll show you a bitch. Because that's not what you're supposed to do. As a man, you're supposed to wake up and say, all right, my life might be shit. I'm gonna suffer. I may be miserable, but every single person I love is going to be happy. Instead, so you live externally, you live through them, you give them the happiness. And it's also very important as a man that you're realistic enough to understand that the masculine world has always been based around peacocking, flexing, showing capability, showing competence. That's what the masculine world is truthfully based around. People often say women are attracted to men who are X, Y, Z. No, women are attracted to competent men. Men who exude competence, not arrogance, but capability. And you're only going to exude that if you've proven yourself capable many times, because then God will give you a different level of different aura. When a woman looks at you and goes, he can do anything he says he's going to do, that's when you become instantly attracted. Competence is extremely important. That's the masculine world. Don't let losers and brokies sit and say to you, oh, all our graves are the same, it doesn't matter. No, it does matter. You were not born to suffer and die without being remembered or leaving a mark on this planet. You weren't born for that. You were born to do something great and to be remembered. You were born to leave offspring which are so fantastic, raised in your image, that you by proxy are discussed into eternity. Your bloodline becomes synonymous with competence and capability. That's why you were born. This is why, you know, when girls have those loser dudes who are like saying, I love you so much, I love you, and the girl doesn't give a shit that the loser dude's telling her that he loves her. Why is that? Because the female is smart enough to understand on an intrinsic level that as a man, if you have no capability to give her things, if you have no competence, if you have no skills or use case, that your love is completely useless. It's like if you have a brother beside you who says he loves you with all his heart, but he's a complete pussy and he can't fight and you get attacked. What's his love worth? So as a man, if you want to say, I love my wife, I love my children, I love my friends, I love the world, you can only have a love that is valuable if you're competent and you're capable, and you're only going to have that if you suffer. So if you want to have the ability to love other people, if I want to be a person who can wake up and realize I truly love my children, I truly love my woman, then the only way I can do that is to suffer enough to be a man whose love has value. If I wake up and say, I truly love the people I care about, but I want to be happy, so I'm going to go and sit in the field and take mushrooms and be a dumbass, well, then my love is completely valueless, because when they call me and say, there's a problem, Andrew, you love me, fix it, I'm going to say, I can't. And men are nothing but success objects. We are valued by what we can do. We are competency objects. Men are, what can he do? What is he good at? That's all we're measured on, is our capability. I think happiness is the easiest way to destroy your own capability, because you're too busy doing dumb shit.
Now, I'm not saying become a stoic dork, have no personality, be a boring fuck. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you need to understand as a man, there are certain principles under which you act regardless of how you feel. I can wake up in a terrible mood. I can wake up sad. I can ache. I can have a busy day, stressed, etc. I will complete the same tasks as if I woke up in a fantastic mood. I'll do the same things because how I feel has no bearing on the things I'm going to do in my day, because I have duty to myself and to my bloodline. So a lot of you guys out here are acting like fools because you feel like acting like fools. And what I'm going to say to you is, because you think there's something wrong with you. You go, well, I lack motivation. I don't have the motivation to go to the gym. Well, here's the news flash. Neither did I, and I still did it.
Motivation is not a real thing. You are never going to be permanently motivated to do things that you don't want to do. You need to do what you're supposed to do, not what you feel like fucking doing. Okay. That's the difference between a man and a fucking child. You do not become a man doing what you feel like doing. You become a man doing what you're supposed to fucking do.
Being a man isn't about not feeling things. It's about acting the way you're supposed to act, regardless of how you feel. This ties into your network, the people around you. If everyone else around you, when you say you feel a certain way, if they don't check you, then why are you hanging around with them? If you're going to sit there and go, I feel sad, and your friend's going to go, oh, bro, you feel sad, man? Sorry to hear that, bro. It's hard to be sad, bro. You sad, bro? Oh, we're sad too, bro. I was sad last week. What the fuck's wrong with you? You need to create your reality. So you got to keep this in mind. I'm tired of hearing guys message about how they feel. I don't feel motivated. I don't feel. Feel. Leave the feelings to the girls. We act. We're men of action. We get things done. So the world got built. All of it. All the men who built the fucking skyscrapers felt scared. They did it anyway. You need to become a man of action. Stop worrying about how you feel and start worrying about what you're supposed to be doing. That is the most basic imperative of the masculine frame, which has been destroyed in real time. They are trying to convince you that you should act how you feel. You should show more of your feelings. If you feel this way, you should show it. If you want to cry, cry. Look, I have no problem with guys crying. Sometimes guys cry, right? My dad died, I cried. I've cried once in 10 years, but it's not a default emotion for me. Sometimes you cry, right? But what I'm saying is the reason they're trying to bring out emotionality in you is because most of the time you don't feel like doing the things you're supposed to do. But the true masculine frame throughout history was doing the things they didn't want to do, but they knew they had to do because they had honor and duty. That's what honor and duty means. Do you think the men on the Titanic wanted to stay on the fucking Titanic? No, we're men. We have to stay. We're scared, but we must. It's our duty to let the women and children on the lifeboat. This is masculine duty.
But the whole idea of happiness in and of itself is skewed in the Western world, especially in the masculine frame, because there's so many men who are waking up complaining about the fact they're not happy, which is the strangest mindset I think a man can have. Because as a man, how happy you are has absolutely nothing to do with how you live your life and how you perform and what you need to do. How happy you are is a pointless measurement, so why do you even measure it at all? I would argue that as long as you're not distraught, as long as someone you love didn't die that day, heaven forbid that happens often, let's say a couple of times a decade, besides those days, you should be happy enough to go to the gym and perform and make your money and do what you need to do. Who gives a shit if you're particularly smiley or not? I think it's quite binary. This whole idea of how happy am I is the easiest way for a man to destroy his life. If you're chasing happiness, you're only going to do hedonistic garbage and achieve absolutely nothing important. If you wake up and say, I don't care how happy I am, I want to be proud of myself and I want to make other people proud of me, so I have to do all these things irregardless of how I feel, you're going to have a fantastic life. Happiness is something that's only going to come from dedication and hard work, which requires short-term suffering. It's just delayed. So if you're dedicating yourself and working hard for the future happiness, but especially considering the fact that most people are never happy with what they get and you always want more, your life just becomes hard work and dedication and struggle and suffering, and that's what you just exist within, and you don't operate under the paradigm of happy or sad. To me, it's quite binary. It's not a scale of how happy am I. It's just, has something terrible happened today? Am I distraught? No, then I'm happy. It's almost like there's no such thing as cold. It's just an absence of heat. In space, there's no cold. There's just heat or there's no heat. Well, if there's no despair, heaven forbid a family member dies. If there's no despair, then there's only happiness left. And I think that the correct mental model for men to have is a degree of stoicism and not to be too concerned with even how they feel. Why put so much importance on my emotion if certain things must be done? I must work, I must train. I've got things to do. So why are we going to sit around and talk about how I feel if it doesn't even affect how I act? And as a man, it shouldn't, because there's too much to do. And the masculine world is hyper-competitive. This is another thing most people don't understand.
Totally agree.
It's hyper-competitive out here. All the women want a few men at the top. The Ferrari, you don't want a Ferrari to drive fast. You want a Ferrari because other men want a Ferrari and can't have one. It's hyper-competitive. So if you're competing against every other man for every dollar you make, every girl you see, the house you live in, the car you drive, the life you live, you're not going to be able to compete with the person who performs regardless of how they feel if you only compete when you feel like competing.
As a man, you either perform or you don't. The men who say, I can't feel like it, cannot compete with the men who do not say that. And it is player versus player. The man who goes to the gym every single day, regardless of how he feels, will always beat the man who goes to the gym when he feels like going to the gym. And it's player versus player.
Yes. So when men say, oh, but I feel sad, who cares? The world doesn't care. All the men who are out here to destroy you and take your girl don't care. So why do you care? Like the person who should care least is you. You're the only person who wakes up every day who should have a genuine vested interest in improving your life. Nobody else wakes up and wants to improve your life, only you. So if nobody else cares about how you feel, why do you care? So my argument also for depression is, you're depressed, fine. Have you trained today? Well, that doesn't change what you should do with your life.
So how do you actually maintain that kind of clarity and strength in your mind?
You know, everyone says practice makes perfect, and I disagree with that. I think that it is reflection and analysis that makes perfection, because you can practice something, but if you don't analyze yourself, you don't get any better at it. Mm-hmm. Chess is a perfect example of it. You can play all day long, but unless you sit down and analyze your games and work out where you went wrong, you're never going to get better. And it's the same with anything like public speaking, right? There's people who've been speaking for 8 years and can't speak as well as people who've been speaking for 20 years. Why? Because someone who's 20 will watch their speech back and they'll say what they did wrong and they'll analyze every single part of it. So I think when it comes to thought patterns and it comes to life, it's exactly the same thing. I try and keep my mind optimized to get what I need done. If I'm ever in a stressful situation, I sit back and think, did I handle that the best? And if you do that long enough, you get to a position where next time a stressful situation appears, you understand it's a stressful situation, you understand the consequences, but you don't really feel the pressure that you did before. You don't panic, you don't rush, because you've been there before, you've been through it. But with enough adversity, eventually I guess you get kind of good at adversity. You just get good at it.
Think about that mindset. You have a finite number of human years. You are going to die. That is guaranteed. There are people who want to die and leave no mark. They may not have kids at all. If they do have kids, they want them to be individuals who come up with their own ideas and listen to the TV and YouTube, listen to the school. They don't want to leave a carbon footprint. No, I just want to die, and I don't want to be on the internet or on Wikipedia. I want to be insignificant. Nobody remember me, and my sons don't even represent me, and all my ideals and everything I represented is just gone. I'm one of those people who is born and vanishes and is never discussed again. Are you fucking? Your primary objective as a man should be, during this lifetime, to leave a mark that will be discussed. Hopefully a positive one. That's your goal, right? Your goal is to be such a fantastic version of human.
This is why my enemies struggle with certain concepts they're trying to make me understand when they come along and say, oh, carbon footprint. I want to leave a footprint. I want a carbon footprint. If we could measure all of our carbon footprints on a leaderboard, I would be pissed off if I wasn't number one. I want to win. I want a footprint. So that's why they'll never get through to me. That's why they'll never understand me.
What I'm saying is a man should suffer and go through so much pain and agony that he becomes such a fantastic man that he could find a woman who's never had to suffer ever and ensure she never does. That's the ultimate protection and provision. That's the way the balance works. I think a man should have absolutely no interest in whether he's actually happy or not. If I wake up and I'm unhappy, I will do the exact same things as if I am happy. I will go to the gym the same. I will work the same. How I feel has no impact on how I live my life. I don't think happiness as an index is a healthy view for a man to have on life success. But I think for a man, if you're waking up and going, oh, am I happy? Am I not? You're looking at life wrong. I think of a man, if you put happiness if you move it down the scale, right? And you start looking at, am I successful? Am I competent? You know, am I achieving things? Am I respected? If you start to look at these indicators of your life, you're going to end up being happier without actually analyzing if you're happy or not. So for me, I understood very, very well that $500,000 a month is good, but $1 million a month is better. And I also very, very much understood that as soon as you stop pushing forward, as soon as you go stagnant, you're dying. Right? As soon as you stay in one place, you're slowly on the way down. If your podcast, if your channel now were to stagnate in views, you'd be worried. That's effectively dying. It has to grow at all times. So every business has to work. So for me, I was under enormous pressure. I didn't think, oh, I have plenty of money now. It was the complete opposite. I wanted to work harder, more hours. I found the tap. Bro, if there was a golden tap that unlimited money and you had buckets and you took one bucket of money, would you just take that bucket or would you run back and get another bucket and run back and run? I couldn't stop. I couldn't sleep. And this was my chance to escape the matrix.